So Pokemon Generation 10 has been a big topic of discussion in the community recently. Honestly, for a pretty long time now, considering that Legends EA is not even out yet. But in this video, I want to talk about every single Pokemon Generation 10 leak that we have so far. And not only that, but in this video, we also got a potential leaked in-game picture of Pokemon Generation 10, as well as a couple other pretty hype pieces of info about it. So we got a bunch of cool stuff to go over about Gen 10 in this video. But I do want to say quick before we get into it that I'm trying to hit 20,000 subscribers on the channel. I'm also going to be covering all the latest news and leaks about Pokemon Legends EA. If you guys don't want to miss any of that, then make sure you guys subscribe because it helps me get even closer to my sub goal. And one last thing before we get into the video is that I'm still doing the giveaway with Fundoris for the $50 in eShop gift cards. So if you guys want to enter, all you guys have to do is join the Discord. The link for that will be in the description. And the giveaway is going to end once I hit 15k and Fundoris hits 30k. And guys, I'm only 300 subs away. So that means the winners are going to be announced really soon. So make sure you guys don't miss out on that. But anyways, let's get into it. All right, so first up, I want to talk about something that's pretty hype about Gen 10. So we've got this tweet here from Soul Silverart, and if you guys don't know him, he kind of posts like Pokemon news and theories. Sometimes he even posts leaks, but he says right here, if no one spoils Gen X before Pokemon Day, obviously with Gen X, he's talking about Gen 10, and he says the reveal trailer has the potential to be as shocking and hype as the news that we got in the latest Nintendo Direct. So if you guys don't know what he's talking about with that, he's obviously talking about the Legends EA DLC, which that totally caught everybody off guard. I don't think anyone was expecting us to see the DLC for that game already. So I guess what he's saying right here is that if they do decide to announce Gen 10 next year on Pokemon Day, which Pokemon Day is always February 28th for you guys who don't know, but if they do announce this, it's going to be absolutely crazy. So he's basically saying that for most people, it's going to be totally unexpected, and it's going to be a huge reveal because next year is actually the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. So I've said this before, but I think it would make perfect sense for them to give us Gen 10 on the 30th anniversary because Gen 10 would obviously be a huge milestone for the series. And not to mention the 30th anniversary is also a huge milestone for Pokemon. So I think Gen 10 would be a perfect way for them to kind of celebrate the entire series. And honestly, I would love to see a bunch of callbacks in this game to past generations, like past features that fans really liked. And something else I think would be absolutely sick would be if they added the Omni Ring in this game. And if you guys haven't seen it, the Omni Ring is going to be in Pokemon Champions, and it's basically going to be like a Mega Ring, but it has every single gimmick on it. So for example, with this ring, we can use Mega Evolution, we can use Gigantamax. You guys know what I'm saying. And there's also a leak saying that the new Gen 10 gimmick, which I'm going to tell you guys what that is in just a minute, is going to be added to Pokemon Champions on this Omni Ring in the future. So I just think it would be so sick if we could use the Omni Ring in Gen 10 as well. And I think that would just be a sick way for them to celebrate all the past generations by giving us access to all these gimmicks in this game. Before we get into the bulk of these leaks, I just want to show you guys this alleged leaked image real quick. So I guess this picture originated on 4chan, so you guys know what that means. There's probably a good chance that this is fake, so I would just say to take this with a huge grain of salt. But so here's the picture, guys, and I think this one's pretty interesting. So my guess is that maybe if this somehow was real, then this would be the fire starter of the game. And we can see these massive kind of like volcano looking things in the background, which that actually would go with the leaks that we have about Gen 10, because one of the biggest leaks that we have about the game so far is that it's going to take place on a bunch of chains of islands based on the Cyclades Islands of Greece in real life. The Terra leak said that each island is going to have its own distinct environment and that there's going to be unique Pokemon adapted to each island. So these are actually volcanoes in the background, you know, that would go exactly with what the Terra leak said. So that's the main reason I wanted to show this one to you guys, because there's always that tiny chance that it could be real, you know what I'm saying? All right, so now's where we kind of get into the bulk of these leaks about Gen 10. So we found out that the code name for Gen 10 is Gaia, and it says based on hints related to the Japanese words for wind, kaze, and wave, Nami, the most speculated and unconfirmed names for Gen 10 is going to be Pokemon Winds and Waves. And these games are most likely going to be only releasing on the Switch 2. I would say there's probably a chance that they would release on the Switch 1 as well, but we've never seen them release a new generation when there's a new console out on a previous console as well. So I think if they did release it on the Switch 1, it would be pretty surprising, but I guess it's always possible that they could do that though. And like I was saying before, the Gen 10 region is inspired by the Greek islands in the Aegean Sea. And we've got some other details about these islands. So it's going to be multiple islands with distinct environment. Our progression is going to be achieved by exploring different islands. There will be unique Pokemon adapted to each island, and the legendary Pokemon significantly shape each island's environment, and currently the region's name is unknown. So it sounds like there's going to be a bunch of water in this region. So you know, I imagine this region will be pretty similar to Hoenn and Alola, because those two are also based on areas where there's a lot of islands, obviously. So there's going to be a lot of water-based exploring in this game, which I think is pretty cool, because I'm honestly a big fan of that when we see see it in Pokemon games, especially in Hoenn. So if it's going to be anything like that, I'm extremely hyped for it. The next up, it says here that we got 120 new Pokemon coming to this game. So according to leaks, Game Freak wants to introduce around 120 new Pokemon. That's going to include new species entirely and regional forms. So for you guys who like regional variants, it looks like those are going to be returning in this game. And it says around 70 of these designs are reportedly in final development stages. So that means that this game's Pokedex is almost fully complete, which is pretty crazy, to be honest. Just based on that, I'd say there's probably a pretty good chance that we do see this game next year, and that they actually do announce it at the end of the Pokemon Day Presents next year, maybe for like a November release or something. And I do think that would make a lot of sense, especially based on what I said before about it. Now, to end it off, we got the gimmick of the game. So I'm not going to talk too much about it because this is fully unconfirmed information. What it says here is that the gimmick's going to be called Apostles, and it says these Pokemon not only receive boosts, but they also undergo full visual form changes. So obviously that sounds really similar to Mega Evolution. But I've also seen another gimmick idea where the Pokemon that can use this gimmick actually come back to life after they get knocked out, and this makes them way stronger, and they also get a new form with this. So that concept was made by Cardinal, and he also made a bunch of sick renders of Pokemon that can use this concept gimmick and what they would look like with their new form. Obviously this gimmick is unconfirmed, it's just a concept, but I think it would be sick if we saw something like that as well. But let me know down below what you guys think and what new gimmick you guys would want to see in Gen 10, and also if you guys think it'd be a good idea for us to be able to use every single gimmick in this game. And also, like I said at the start of the video, I'm trying to hit 20,000 subscribers, so if you guys enjoyed this video and you don't mind helping me out to reach my goal, I extremely appreciate all you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.